Welcome to St. Augustine this evening, the Mike Davis Show. It is Thursday, Halloween, October 31st.
You could have saved that.
he literally just saw her come in.
Taken by surprise. Sorry.
She's been here for 30 seconds.
I apologize, Mike. I'm a little thrown back here.
You just saw her come in.
Yeah, I was.
Nobody knows what we're talking
my
about yet.
electoral votes to answer your question.
Do you do all your voter research this way?
Pretty much.
Welcome to the show,
Hi,
Miss
everybody.
Grinch. So
I'm a pumpkin.
we have joked
It's in my
since
vine.
yesterday
I'm a pumpkin.
about not wearing the same shirt
Yes.
on the show 2 days in a row. And you,
pumpkin.
2 days ago, you were the
I was
Great
the
Pumpkin.
Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Yes, and
Yes.
now you are.
I'm just a pumpkin now.
Are you going to wear this outfit with your kids trick-or-treating?
No.
Louis won't let you.
No, they've already done this one. I've already done this one with the kids.
So it's a brand new one this year. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's why I had it for today.
Yes.
Which is totally
Yeah.
Halloween.
You think you look like the Great Pumpkin. Troy and I are thinking back to Star Trek.
Mhm. So,
Please don't think back to
there's,
Star Trek.
there's so many Star Trek characters, but not a Tribble. She's not a Tribble.
No, you're not a Tribble.
I'm not that fuzzy.
No.
Yeah.
So we're glad to have you here. This is a pre-tape show, so if you're trying to comment in and we don't reply back to you,
We're sorry.
We
we're
love you.
sorry. We love you, but Amanda, rightfully so, wanted to go trick-or-treating with her kids tomorrow. We think that's a phenomenal idea, so we're filming today, which, as
Yay.
far as you
Thank
know,
you,
is
everybody.
October the 31st.
It's totally October
It's
the 31st.
totally October the 1st. All right. These neighborhood diners are more than just a place to eat. They're where hospitality blooms and friends gather. You can bring your own or make new ones at the Moultrie Creek Diner and Anastasia Diner, where the coffee is always hot, the smiles are genuine, and the food tastes like home. Every meal is a chance to make memories, share stories, and create bonds that last a lifetime. It's not just about the food on the plate, but the community that comes together at the table. Come see us at Moultrie Creek Diner or Anastasia Diner and tell them Andy sent you. Go Dogs may or may not get you a discount.
Maybe. Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealer in the nation by Dealer Rater. Bozard Ford has also won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com or head on down there. Have a Jiffy Burger at Ford's Garage. Solomon Services, the premier place for personal training in St. Augustine. They specialize in small group strength and fitness development, athletic development for team and individual sports performance. They do sport injury-related training. They have a state-of-the-art center with indoor and outdoor turf areas. All coaches are certified through the National Strength and Conditioning Association. Call and make an appointment today at Solomon Services. It's 904-461-9945. Or visit their website, solomonservices.com, to sign up today.
All right. And Land Title of America. Let's see if we can get this right tonight. It's Halloween. Come on,
Got it.
gang. Focus. Whether you realize it or not, when you refinance the sale or purchase of a home, there is a title company involved. Don't get stuck with some out-of-town title company who doesn't give a crap when you're faced with challenges. Stay local and choose Land Title of America. Just call or text Stephen Collins, 904-501-4481. He specializes in all types of real estate transactions. Land Title, your local title company, insuring America's land one title at a time, because
They give a crap.
Yay!
that is the best one you guys have done in months. I'm
Trick or
so
treat.
proud of y'all. So very, very proud. Also, November 11th is Veterans Day. It's hosted by the Veterans Council of St. Johns County, Inc., the Military Officers Association of America, also known as MOA, the Ancient City chapter, and Anastasia Baptist Church. It's a salute to the Gulf War, Desert Shield, and Desert Storm, and the keynote speaker is our very own Sheriff Rob Hardwick.
Absolutely.
And if you want to play golf, SALA, the St. Augustine Life Saving Association, is having a golf tournament at the St. Augustine Shores Golf Club, 707 Shores Boulevard on Saturday, November 2nd at 9 a.m. It's $50 per player or $200 per team. Call to register, 904-794-4653. It's a great opportunity to go out there and play with some fun people and raise some money for the St. Augustine Life Saving Association. Great group. And They're sponsored by the AMP, A-Frame, and Zimenez. I don't know what that is, but yeah, I think it's engineering. Yep, engineering services. Zimenez.
You got it.
All right, you guys got that. Okay. That is all the stuff we have. We are fast running out of time to argue about an election. This is our last opportunity that I will be here for us to argue about election.
I don't know about that.
We can still argue about the election, but this is the last time prior to the
election.
actual election. Because there will be arguments after the election.
For sure.
Yes.
I'm sure.
For months.
Yeah.
Years.
More than likely.
Decades. Generations.
I would not hold a grudge on elections 2000. Just let you know.
You're not going to hold a grudge. What does that mean?
The 2000 election. I don't know if you remember the hanging chads.
Oh, 2000. Yeah, I was hung up on 2020, and I was like, oh, yeah.
No, 2000.
That was a rough one because I would drive around. I had a radio that would pick up the TV channels. It was a real small one. And I would ride around, and I could hear the updates as I was driving because I didn't have XM radio in the car at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just such an interesting case, and I was such a political guy. I just had to figure it out. But it was a very interesting time to be in Florida because we were the center of every Chad that was dimpled, wrinkled, and pregnant.
Yeah.
Hanging.
Yes.
Yeah, just
That
terrible.
too.
The supervisors of elections down there,
Screwed up.
screwed up.
Big time.
And the oil man ended up being our president for 8 years.
Yes,
So,
he did. Thank God, because I'm not sure I could have handled the wooden knucklehead.
so
You know what, though? Al Gore
I
made
barely
a
survived those 8 years.
Al Gore made a lot of money. You made a lot of money during those 8 years.
I made a lot of money under every president. That's what I'm saying. It's not the president that makes it. You make the adjustments to what's around
You made
you.
a ton of money those years.
Yeah.
I remember you, filthy rich, driving a Hummer.
Yeah. No, I bought the Hummer right as the crash happened. That was a beautiful time.
It was a beautiful
Gas,
time. down
he
there.
goes out, gas is $4 a gallon.
Who was the
Yeah.
president when gas was $4 a gallon?
W.
Okay.
Yeah, W. It was right. Yeah. It was at the end of
At
his
the end?
reign.
Okay. All right.
So,
If you say so.
yeah. And it was at the start of Obama's.
Mm-hmm.
And Obama got the privilege of us coming out of that recession to make it look good on his record. So,
Yes.
So,
Yeah. All right. So anything in this last week that has happened that would, if you were all of us know who we're voting for. If you were an undecided voter that you think would have shifted you in a direction this week, Amanda,
We're going to start with me.
you want me to start with somebody else?
Doesn't matter. Something that would have shifted my opinion.
Yes. If you're an undecided voter and you're like, I don't know who I'm going to vote for, is there anything that would have happened this week that would have made you say, I'm changing my mind?
So I keep watching Kamala Harris's interviews to see if she gives a plan or if she gives an answer to, because people keep asking her, like, when did you know that Joe Biden wasn't mentally sound to run for re-election? And she keeps, not answering that question. But they keep trying to give her an opportunity to distance herself from the Biden administration and lay out a plan that would be different, a different path forward. And she keeps not doing it. So I feel like if I was looking for a reason, like just give me one reason to vote for Kamala Harris, I don't feel like I have gotten that. And I've watched so many interviews of this woman, guys, and I just don't feel like she's given a plan for why the next 4 years will be different and better, other than just saying it will be because I say it will be.
Yeah.
So I don't think she's given a reason if you're on the fence to vote for her, other than gender and there's a boogeyman out there.
And I'll tell you, that reason is actually a good quality, in my opinion, of hers, because she is staying loyal to the man who made her vice president. The guy, the orange man, totally turned on his vice president. So that I didn't vote for her, and I'm never would vote for her because of the policies and how it would affect my family. But that loyalty factor, she's got him beat on that one. So that's the only
Aside from the coup.
The coup.
Aside from her taking
she's
over.
more
That's the
loyal with her
Republican
words.
story.
She's more loyal with her words.
That's
She's
the
not more loyal
Republican
with her
story
actions.
that's doing that. And you think it was her that put herself in there? No, it was the entire Democratic Party. And it was everybody who I witnessed that. It wasn't Kamala.
Right, and it was
It
an
was-
attempt to stave off the inevitable of Joe Biden doing what he did the other day and calling the,
You know
the
what?
basket of deplorables
I-
garbage.
If
Yeah.
Donald
Yeah,
Trump
that was
wins,
terrible.
the first call that Joe Biden is going to make is to Nancy Pelosi with a big fat "I told you so."
Mm-hmm.
If Donald Trump wins, I could have beaten him.
Mhm.
And there's not a thing she's going to be able to say because he's going to say, I'm the only politician in
That
the
did.
last 3 elections that beat him.
Mhm.
And if you don't think Joe Biden wants to make that phone call,
Oh.
you are mistaken.
Oh.
He feels like he got stabbed in the
Oh,
back and he wants to make that phone
He
call.
he feels completely betrayed by a party that he gave his entire life to.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I mean,
He lied and he stole for that party. He
Yeah.
wanted them to lie and steal for him.
Yeah. So well, that's politics. And some of them are better at it than others. But I mean,
Original question.
the original question, the reason that I see Kamala just not being my person, and well, Trump's not my person either because of the personal stuff. I don't have anything wrong with most of his policies, but and I called you about this. I was like, why is she spending so much freaking money in Florida?
Mm-hmm.
That is such a waste of money. It makes no sense. You are going to lose Florida.
Mm-hmm.
There are,
Big league.
I would say, hundreds of millions of dollars that possibly are being
I like
spent
the
here.
way you described that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
I can make up words just like the
Yeah.
orange guy.
yeah, but
You're learning, Lenny. There's hope.
and by the way,
Oh,
the
I've
orange
been making
guy's
words for
getting
years,
the orange
trust me.
guy's getting oranger, or his ears are getting wider.
Yeah.
I don't know if you pull up a picture
Yes,
of him,
yes,
to
oh,
see
yeah.
his face and his ears are still white. I was like, come on, just put a little on the ears and blend that back a little.
You know me, I'm a Trump fan. I didn't think he aged a whole bunch in the first term.
Mm.
I'm really afraid what he's going to look like 4 years
Oh,
from
gosh,
now.
yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a lot.
He's going to look like Clyde from Any Which Way You Can.
I love that guy.
Making a
Right
left
turn, right turn,
yeah.
right turn, Clyde.
Okay.
But with me, that just shows that she's not in touch with the financial. I mean, that's not where you
fiscally
spend the money.
responsible.
That is not where you need to spend the money. You need to be spending your money in those purple states, and Florida's not it.
Well, I think the Democrats too have spent. I heard a number, and it was from Ted Cruz. So I don't believe it, but it's like $100 million in PAC money to defeat him
Mhm.
in a state that Trump's up 12 or 10.
And he's up, I think, possibly 4 today.
I think it's going to be worse than that. I think he's going to win by a lot more than that. And I say that because you have Democrats who are pissed at the Democratic Party because they might lose their seats in Texas over this immigration thing.
Mhm.
So Lenny, anything if you were an undecided voter that you would look at this week and say, well, that kind of shifted me? Or is it still just you'd be undecided?
No, well, you got Mike Pence was on Long Island yesterday, day before, talking to a friend of mine at the Long Island Association, and he basically said, I'm not endorsing Trump. I don't even know if I'm voting for him.
Mm-hmm.
So that would put some people, put a bee in somebody's bonnet when his vice president can't support him and is walking away from him quickly. And the other thing is, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, is, J.D. Vance scares the daylights out of me because the guy is he's a freaking, well, he's an attack dog, and I understand that's his job. But he won't answer a question, and he just denies reality. I mean, there are things that he says that never happened that happened. There's things that there is video evidence of something Donald Trump said that he's going, he never said that. So, I mean, either he's making the Kool-Aid, drinking the Kool-Aid, or he just doesn't care. And I find that disqualifying.
I can't say a whole lot about that because I was a big Bill Clinton fan. So, and I still am because I think he was a good president.
Yeah.
But he just said things just to say them, and then I hope it all meshes together. And
No,
yeah,
Vance isn't doing a weave. He's just, doing denialism, and he's just, he's pushing back, and he's pushing back aggressively instead of, yes, he said that, and let's move on. And you get out of it a lot faster that way because every time you try to argue the position, you just bog down. And there's a lot to be said in honest politics if you say, yeah,
That's an oxymoron.
well, we're back to military intelligence
Yeah.
and jumbo shrimp. Absolutely.
well, what about the comedian that made his statement about Puerto Rico?
I don't think that goes anywhere. One,
Just all over national
well,
news.
I don't, but I don't think anybody's watching the national news anymore.
Yeah,
The
but they-
viewer,
but
the
they made
viewership,
it.
Okay.
the viewership of the national news is so much less than what Joe Rogan gets on a podcast.
Mhm.
And I think people that if that sways your vote, wonderful. But I think most people are like, if you were a Harris fan, you're like, okay, confirmation bias, they're all jackasses, and he's another one.
Mhm.
If you were a Trump fan, yeah, he's a comedian, and off you go. I mean, confirmation bias either side. I think it's interesting, your answer. I love your answer. I disagree with it because mine is, if I'm an undecided voter right now, Tim Walz has got me, right? Because I don't trust Harris if I'm undecided.
Mm-hmm.
But then every single time I see Tim Walz do any kind of appearance, I'm like, her first major decision was to pick a running mate, and she picked that guy. Now, you can say, like in comparison to J.D. Vance, you can disagree with his answer, but he's able to competently fend off that question from a press that wants to get him to say a soundbite that they can use. And if you're on the left, yeah, that's an incredibly frustrating answer. If you're on the right watching J.D. Vance, you're like, I love that guy. He just frustrated the heck out of that reporter. Right. But Tim Walz, Tim Walz makes Sarah Palin look like a good pick.
Well, when you have Josh Shapiro out there, who is telegenic,
And I like Sarah
articulate. Sorry?
And he says, and he likes Sarah Palin.
And I liked her. I just threw her
didn't.
under the bus. But you get that. I mean, it's a bad pick.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, Dan Quayle has moved up the list.
Yeah.
In the spelling bee.
And I like Quayle. But go ahead.
But then again, you like rope burn, so we'll get past that.
I like what?
Rope burn. It's the Gong Show, long time ago.
Yeah. You don't remember the Gong Show? Chuck Barris?
If somebody could
The unknown comic?
if somebody will do Gene, the dancing machine, right now.
And I think we've lost Amanda altogether. There you go. There he goes.
All we can see is your butt.
Gene, the dancing machine.
All I know is that show existed. I never saw it.
Okay.
That was hysterical.
It was great TV.
It really was. And he was a CIA spook, apparently.
Yeah,
Ask him, he'll tell
according
you.
to the movie.
Right, ask him, he'll
I
tell you.
thought that was the unknown comic.
It's
Just joking.
Chuck Barris. Yeah, you got somebody like, and again, Pennsylvania, more electoral votes than Wisconsin. Wisconsin was less of a challenge than it seems Pennsylvania is now, because Wisconsin, she's up. Pennsylvania's tied right now. Josh Stein is, he's articulate, he's intelligent. The fact that he's Jewish may not be the best thing going for him, in a national election, sadly, because people are just prejudiced on a lot of levels for anybody and everybody. So if you can find any flaw, you'll pick at it or use it.
Yeah, I just don't like guys with hats. I just don't.
Yeah, and
I
beards.
find them offensive.
I think we need to unpack that a little bit more.
And beards. And beards.
But,
If they've got a hat and a beard, Lenny, they just can't be trusted.
I feel the same way about guys who wear khaki.
I'm wearing jeans today for the record.
Yeah. Your shirt's khaki.
You will not impugn the character of Steve Irwin. Not on this show.
Not on this show.
At least he had a cool accent. He had a cool accent.
We managed to get everybody in there. We just took that and went around the world.
Don't make me bring in the flyer of Mike holding a gun
It's a good
from
flyer.
when he was
it's a good
running.
flyer.
Yeah.
I was like, whose gun was that? He's like, I don't know.
It is
very Lauren Boebert of you.
Yeah.
But,
But I behaved myself in the movie theater.
Allegedly.
I'll see your Lauren Boebert joke and throw another one right back at you.
Allegedly.
Are we talking Paul Rubens?
No, that was a different assassination attempt.
So, we'll see what happens with Waltz. But, yeah, I don't think, maybe this is the best way to keep her alive if she wins. She's going, look, you take me out, you get him.
There's a joke on the right, and it's that, Obama decided, hey, the best insurance policy I could have is to have a dumb vice president that no one would want to be vice president. And he picked Biden. Yeah. And then Biden's like, well, wait a minute, that works so well for my boss. I need to do the same thing. And he picked Harris. And then Harris says, it works so well for Biden, I got to pick Waltz. Right? And but you look at it, Tim Waltz is not ready. If Harris were to be elected president and something were to happen to her, he is not ready to be president of the United States.
Yeah, but according to you guys, there's no need to worry about it because the Democratic Party will have another coup, in your words, and they'll replace him.
Well, if they replace him with Nancy Pelosi, she's too old now. I think she's viciously effective at what she does, but she's too old. Yeah. She might be one of the most viciously effective politicians that we have ever had in Washington.
Chicks go scorched earth. That's why.
I got a scary one for you because she's now old enough. OAC could step to that forefront and step right in there.
I got to tell you, watching her speak and watching her articulate her stuff, right? Nancy Pelosi now at this age will run circles around whatever mature AOC will be there in another 10 or 15 years.
Oh yeah.
Nancy Pelosi is an evil genius, in my opinion, as a Republican. AOC does not worry me at all because I don't think AOC will have the ability to coordinate, and I don't think she's going to be able to fundraise as well as Pelosi. I just don't see it.
I don't think she can coalition build the same way.
I think
she's too far to the left to bring anything into the middle.
I think she'll get bored doing this job and eventually go off and do something else, be an influencer or something like that. I just don't see her having the stick-to-itiveness of Nancy Pelosi to just say, I'm in this until I'm the first female speaker and I'm going to keep going after that.
And at her age, she's now got retirement benefits for life and medical benefits for life. So she doesn't need to keep going.
I mean, if I'm Nancy Pelosi at Thanksgiving dinner this year, I'm saying that's 2 presidents I took out. I took out Donald Trump and I took out Joe Biden. And name another speaker that's done that. So
no, I mean she's a very, very crafty politician, no matter how you look at it. So I mean, how long was she there?
Relationship is with Harris, seeing as they're both from San Francisco, and you know Harris was DA when an Attorney General when she was
like
representing San Francisco.
Any other political relationship in Washington D.C. When it benefits both people, it's convenient. When it doesn't, yeah. I don't think there's a lot of deep friendships that come out of Washington, D.C. with the political elites. I just don't see that.
Just Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I think the Supremes are a little more different. I don't think the Supremes are as well. Even with that, Lenny, the separation between the 9 of them is nothing like what it is between a Democrat from California compared to a Republican from Alabama. That separation is so broad. The 9 justices all had a very similar path getting there.
They all went to law school. They all clerked. They all worked in the legal profession.
So they all earned. I mean, you have to go through several levels. I mean, and I don't always agree with the Supreme Court, but I believe every single one of them. They get vetted probably harder than anyone else. And they've been vetted all the way up to this level. So, if you want to call that the political side, I probably have the most respect for those 9 on either side than I do the ones that get thrown into the fire. So just because I feel like they've earned it more.
And in this day and age, their confirmation hearings are potentially more contentious, but also much more public than they've ever
They're
been.
for the world to see.
Because people are paying attention.
Yeah.
People didn't start paying attention until
Clarence Thomas.
Clarence
Thomas to me was the first one I really remember.
Bork, if you want to know, because
Robert,
Bork was before Clarence.
Well,
Thomas.
and I can't believe that they took over, Captain Picard during that Bork hearing. Is that the same? He's not listening. You're gone.
I don't even know where that was. Who was
you don't
Picard?
know who Captain Picard is?
I know who he is, but why?
You didn't watch Next Generation?
How about
I did.
The
Borg was an entire season.
Okay. Yeah. You changed the letter there.
This is why you can't do 2 hours in a row.
No. Wait a minute.
Here in a serious discussion.
In my defense, a guy with dyslexia changed a letter, and I couldn't keep up. In my defense, I mean, I'm sorry. The guy's got dyslexia, and he changes a letter.
He's supposed to be the Star Trek fan. You've already brought up Star Trek.
So. Least favorite Star Trek was Next Generation.
Am
I right or wrong? Least favorite.
That's the one of my childhood, so I enjoy Next Generation.
I think Data was one of the better Star Trek.
So fun.
Star Trek characters. I mean, they
thought he was flat.
He thought he was a little yellow.
He's a little emotionless. I need a little more out of him.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do Spock, but the creation of that character is so similar. I think it was a great creation of a character.
I will not disagree with that. The hair tie for Geordie's eyes, I could have done without.
Yeah. Geordie, I could have done without. Him and Will Wheaton.
There we go.
Will Wheaton was dispatched.
And then the second Doctor that came along, she could have gone too, right? Right now, Strange New Worlds is a great Star Trek series.
Strange New Worlds. I haven't seen it yet.
It's on Paramount Plus. 2 seasons are in the book. It's very good. It picks up before Captain Kirk takes over the Enterprise. Captain Pike is in charge.
Okay.
And Rebecca Raman Stamos plays number 1.
Okay.
Really?
Which is worth watching it just for that.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that right now.
She's-
It's just
Rebecca in a
like-
jumpsuit.
She
Well,
is hideous.
she's terrible. But what an actress. What an actress.
Yeah.
For Blake,
Yeah.
she's
Yes.
mid.
She's mid. She's mid.
Okay.
Wait, I want to go back to the comedians. So you brought up the comedians.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So we have a roast comedian that was in a rally 2 hours before Trump ever takes the stage, and he's getting that hung around his neck, and he's being accused of saying what the comedian said when he didn't. All right, George Lopez was the opener for, I believe it was Walls this weekend. He made a racist joke against Mexicans. He accused Mexicans of being thieves and stealing anything that's left out on a construction site.
Okay,
He said
George
that at a
Lopez is Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah,
So what?
you can pick on your own,
Right.
and that's always been the rule of comedy.
No one is talking.
No one told Don Rickles that.
Don Rickles picked on everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
He picked on everybody. But
no
that's,
one told Dave Chappelle that.
I can tell you. Well, Dave Chappelle picks on his own.
No one told Andrew Schultz that.
Yeah, but I'm picked on his own, and that's where
He picks on everybody.
Here's the difference.
Comedian.
Here's the difference. The comedian that said what he said about Puerto Rico, that was a bomb.
It was a bomb. People didn't respond well to
even then in that crowd,
Yeah, they
it was a
didn't
bomb.
respond well.
It was a bad thought out joke,
Of course.
especially with Pennsylvania in play, and they have a very large Latin. For some reason,
don't
they have a
disagree.
very
It was
large.
dumb.
That was
Puerto
just a
Ricans.
dumb statement. Because you
I
got
fully agree that it was dumb.
first off you shouldn't have a comedian this close to like because that's taking a risk. It's be like throwing George Carlin out there and like we don't know what he's going to say.
I'm going to clear this up right now for all of you.
I think the media coverage of the two different statements is very telling. That's what I was getting at.
Of course, the media always covers differently.
Yes.
But listen, if Trump had walked out there after he had said that horrendous joke and said, I'm going to make him my ambassador to Puerto Rico, right? That would have been like, oh my God, they were serious, right? And he's going to clean it up. No one touched after that joke. Everyone just kind of distanced themselves. But it's the one line that could cause the most harm to a political candidate that the media doesn't like. So they ran with it. And but the people on the right are so immune to it now. And even people in the middle are like, yeah, I'm just moving on. It's just the media. So I just think it's kind of incredible that was kind of the one that everyone's kind of getting.
No,
It's
well,
just
I
a
mean, it
stupid line.
weaponized. It weaponized. It was a dumb.
It gave them what they wanted.
It was just not the right time.
Yeah.
And even the rest of the Republicans, which were 100% in that room, if you go back and you listen to it, you hear them go, "Ooh."
Which, if we had an honest media, they would be reporting about how this dude made a joke, a
bad joke.
racist tinged joke that the Republican audience mostly booed.
Well, I can tell you this.
The media, if they were honest,
Amanda-
that's what they would say. Everyone laughed at George Lopez's joke.
Amanda, I hate to throw your entire generation under this, but that would not have been a factor in 1970.
Well,
It just wouldn't have been. And people like we had comedians like George Carlin, and we had comedians like Richard Pryor and Red Fox that just there was no filter.
Yeah.
And it was understood. But you know what? They didn't have comedians at political rallies for that reason. And that's just a bad choice. Comedians at political rallies never. I mean, they go over like lead balloons.
Yeah, whoever signed that. First of all, people at political rallies usually don't have a very good sense of humor.
No. They're not there.
They're serious about politics. They're not there to laugh.
They're not there to laugh.
Yes.
And that was mistake number one.
Yeah.
Is you don't know what this guy's about to say.
Yeah.
well,
And in this
that's the
situation,
thing,
you
though.
have to have a little bit of control of your message. And I think that was a bad.
They did because they actually reviewed his remarks before he spoke, and this was an ad lib. But interestingly enough, the Puerto Rican garbage island thing took a lot of flack. Nobody so much as blinked when he said he was with his friend carving watermelons. So interestingly enough, that got no traction. But I believe that the RNC,
to
the
his
RNC,
point, his dad's black. So to his point, you're allowed to make fun of
The
Kill
comedian.
Tony's
Tony's?
Tony's dad is
Okay.
black.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Yeah.
that might be why.
Yeah.
So let me
Did anybody in that audience know that? I mean, maybe a lot of people did because this guy.
Yeah, I
If you
think
know
so.
who-
A lot of
if
If you know,
who
if you
Kill
knew the
Tony
comedian,
was.
you'd know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
bad joke on Sunday. The media runs with it all day Monday.
Mhm.
And then one guy goes out there and blows that story up and drops a bomb on Kamala Harris.
Mhm.
And that's Joe Biden
Yeah.
following up
Yeah, he-
with Hillary Clinton's deplorables by saying Trump's supporters are garbage.
Mhm.
I don't know how many memes are going to come out between now and the election with
Oh, I've already
garbage trucks and garbage men and all this other
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
The funniest meme I saw today, and I sent it to Troy, it's like, America's a great country. Look at this young man. Just a week ago, he was working at McDonald's.
Mhm.
And today he's running for president.
Mhm.
And it's just one of the funniest. And so I just don't think things stick that long. That kind of stuff just doesn't,
Right.
it doesn't
The next-
resonate.
the next-
And it wasn't a good
story-
week to be working at McDonald's with the E. coli.
Yeah. Yeah. The next story. Yeah. You might have caused it. No, the next story, it happened so quick
Yeah.
Right.
that
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
over.
what was Anna Nicole, her story lasted about 30 minutes, and then the astronaut with the diapers was immediately there.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's
And
how
Nicole
quick,
was good.
and she was gone.
Yeah.
You know, her.
So in this environment with everybody looking on their phones or instant gratification of social media, is the 15 minutes of fame up to 30 minutes or down to 5?
4.
I think it's 30 seconds.
I think it's in seconds
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
actually 6 seconds with the reel.
Takes you right. Takes
Yeah.
you how long to scroll to the next page? Yeah.
How long does it take you to say hot tua?
Yeah.
You know?
Good gracious.
Okay.
She has a podcast
Oh,
now.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And she's got 1 million followers.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
So great.
So one
am-
quick
I
They're
am
just
question.
hanging
not
on
right
for the
for this world.
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
That's why.
One quick question. We'll start with Lenny. Elon Musk has been touted as Trump as he would be in charge of the Office of Government Efficiency,
Right.
which is probably the greatest oxymoron of all time, but it's there. Does Elon Musk have any impact on the growth of government or slimming the size of government? Can he even fight the bureaucracy to get that done? If Trump were elected and he appoints him.
Right. You know, hypothetically speaking, if that becomes the outcome, I think he will disrupt it horribly. And if you look at his track record with what he did to Twitter, and please stop calling Twitter, formerly known as X, it's frickin' X. We don't need to say Twitter ever again because it's X.
But
And
you
that
just
drives,
did.
It drives me. I know, and it drives me out of my mind, and I'm culpable. I
I
think
love
his
that, Lenny, formerly of New York, now Florida.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Tell
Just
Pete.
wanted to
Yeah.
straighten that out for
There you go.
everybody.
Exactly. From whence did I come? I think his experience in trying to remake Twitter in his image did not go very well. He eventually got there just because of the power of the platform and not his machinations. So I don't foresee any real success in doing this because, first of all, it's just it's a colossal undertaking that I don't know that any 7 human people together can do it. So it's going to be intriguing to see. Maybe not in a positive way, but it'll be intriguing to see.
Troy Blevins, as the man who lived, breathed, and grew the bureaucracy, what do you have to say?
Well, I'll tell you, I just don't think the fishbowl's big enough. Fishbowl's not big enough for the two of them.
Mhm.
They're not going to survive together for very long. I believe Elon can do more for the world outside of that circle
Mhm.
than inside the circle
Mhm.
because you're handcuffed.
Mhm.
I believe X is still going to be successful, and I believe
It
he was
is.
and it was because he's willing to put in that time to make it successful. Government works at glacier speed. Elon Musk works at rocket speed.
He works at ludicrous speed.
Yeah, ludicrous.
Ludicrous speed. Let's
And-
get this right.
And I don't know, was ludicrous at Petey's party?
Ludicrous speed.
But I think Elon is not the right fit for anything in government.
Mhm.
You know, and I have my own problems, and I don't work at I'm at
And you're not a billionaire.
I'm not a
Right.
billionaire like you,
Yet.
like you. But
Plus, it's just gonna take him away.
I just don't think the egos are going to work together, and I think he'll have some good ideas that one or two might stick, but he won't stick.
And will he have the time to do it? I'm sorry, Amanda. Will he have the time to do it with Boring and SpaceX and Tesla and everything else that he's doing and trying to single-handedly repopulate the world?
Working in a government doesn't take that much time. I know.
Amanda?
I know.
Been there, I know. Believe me.
Is the question, will he do it or?
What do you think happens? if Trump wins and he appoints him to this office, will Elon Musk be able to shave the size of government?
If he does, then God bless him. I mean, he might just be the kid for it, right? Like, he's got this ridiculous work ethic and this ridiculous attention to detail, that maybe, just maybe, I mean, he went into X and, well, I guess he went into Twitter and he slashed their bloated workforce. And yes, he took hits and he's in a lawsuit currently because people colluded to try and damage his platform. So he's currently in lawsuits about that. But because of the smaller workforce, X is more efficient and it's working its way towards profitability again, which it wasn't profitable when he took it on. So I think he might just be able to do it.
Yeah, and the difference with X and this job is X was his money.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, it didn't hurt anybody else, and it was his money.
As the single largest taxpayer to
it's
the
still
federal
his
government,
money.
it's still his money.
It's still his money.
Yeah.
So, but in this case, it's also my money and
Yeah,
your money
exactly.
and Lenny's money. And, you know, I've never been
I
a
pay
huge...
a little bit too. Very little, but I still pay.
We thought you were a
compared to
pumpkin
you
over
guys.
there. Vegetables don't pay taxes.
I didn't want
They
to
have
bring
an
it
exception.
up. I didn't want to bring it up and make you cry. So I just didn't. I want to bring it up. I hope that, and I'm not an Elon Musk fan. I've never been this huge follower of Elon Musk. I think it's interesting how he has become more political and a bigger figure in those things. I think he's brilliant. Don't agree with everything he says and does. It's almost like he's that quirky guy that I give him more of a chance to get it done than some straight-laced guy that walks in the building and they say, well, here are the rules to get rid of government. Well, let me read this. And then a year later, he's finished reading the rules of how to get rid of government and government's grown. I think Elon, and to Troy's comment about he won't last long, I hope not. I hope he fires so many people in the first 6 months that Trump has to get rid of him. And then I will go, that is the most amazing job anyone has ever done in my lifetime of getting rid of government. And to another comment about he's got all these other things going on. There's a great saying, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. And I think he would do that from like 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. And as Troy's comment, there's not that many people working in government like that. I mean, I think he runs circles around
it
that.
doesn't exist. And
So-
I can tell you, Mike, you and I, we have very similar work. We work together, and we have very similar work ethics. I can tell you, in government, my work ethic made people uncomfortable in a lot of different ways, and it still exists at the lower level and at the higher level. The gentleman that's my boss right now has an amazing work ethic. He's 70 years old, and he took the risk and stuff like that. Read the book.
How to Fail Upward by Troy Blevins?
No.
The Peter Principle?
I think it's something caddy by Riley from Sports Illustrated.
Who's your caddy?
Who's your caddy? Who's your caddy? And read just the chapter on Donald Trump, and you'll see his work ethic just by reading that one chapter. And if you read that book, he doesn't necessarily like Trump,
Right.
but he's like, this man works, and that's all he does is work, and that is his. And Elon's that guy too, and they work. I don't think that comes out of the other side in a lot of ways when they're looking for a 32-hour work week.
Right.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I think
that's a part-time job.
I think there's a consensus in this room that nobody's got a problem with shrinking the size of the federal government.
In this room.
Yes.
In
In
this
this room.
Yeah.
Until
That's because none of us are
we
employed.
get to some union. None of us are employed. by then.
You're the one who's getting shrunk.
So we got to get to trivia.
Oh, okay, we're doing that?
We got to get to Halloween. Yes, so we got to get there. So quickly around the room, Troy Blevins, Electoral College winner, popular vote winner, and last state to report results.
I think popular vote, Kamala's still going to win the popular vote, just nudge it out. Electoral College, I don't think it's going to be that close. It's going to go to Trump.
And last state.
Last state, I'm going to probably go Minnesota or Wisconsin. I'll go Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Last state to report.
Okay. You
I
ready?
don't think it's going to be
I'm
a
ready.
factor.
Okay. Who you got?
I'm going to be the pie in the sky loser and say that Trump gets both the popular and the electoral college. I know it's never going to happen, whatever. I just want to see it. It'd be the funniest outcome. And so I want to see it. Last state to report, I'm saying Arizona.
Oh, interesting.
That's a good pick.
That's actually
That's possible.
not a bad
Yeah.
pick
Okay,
at all.
Lenny.
All
I
right.
love it when I answer and everyone's like, hey, that's not bad.
No,
So much comments.
I went first, and now I wish that was my answer.
I didn't think Wisconsin was a good answer, but I wasn't going to tell him. I was just glad he picked it.
I think she wins the popular vote. I got her getting 271 electoral votes, one more than she needs, because I think she's going to win North Carolina. You think Virginia's the key? I think North Carolina is going to be the key. I'm worried about Pennsylvania, and I think that's going to be the last state to report because they're already mucking the water there now.
Okay, let me agree with you to start off with. I had Pennsylvania and Nevada as my last state, but I think Pennsylvania being a more populous state in the way they count their votes is going to be the last state. So I agree with you on that. I'm going to completely disagree with you on
I'm shocked.
the popular vote in the electoral college, right? One quick comment. I read an article on North Carolina. The areas that were ravaged the hardest by the hurricane are ahead of their vote totals from 2020.
Mhm.
That is
And
not
that was
good.
Republican.
Those are Republican areas. So when I read that today, I was like, okay, I feel a little bit better about North Carolina.
Mhm.
But I also think Asheville took a hit, and that's a more liberal area.
Mm-hmm.
So I think both parties suffer from Helene, and the people that are there are suffering horribly, but they're doing their job and they're going out and voting. So I'm very proud of North Carolinians for doing that. I am going to be even more pie in the sky than you.
Oh.
Because if I don't take this dadgum bet and Trump actually pulls this off, Troy Blevins will hold this over my head for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I am taking Trump in New York. I did it in 2016 as a stretch bet. I knew it was a stretch bet. I know it is now, but I think there's a better chance now than in 2016. And if Trump somehow manages to win New York State, Troy Blevins will call me every morning and go, "You didn't take that bet. You're an idiot."
Oh, I
You didn't take
understand.
that bet."
'Cause
So I am
the other-
taking a bet I might lose just not to hear the ridicule. For
The
not
other
taking
offer
the bet.
was it was a 2-to-1 lunch.
Yes.
So I offered two lunches to one
Yeah.
to entice him
I'm
to
in.
take the
I'm
bad bet
in.
again.
It's a bad bet. I feel like I'm on
That's why there's
Scott Van
odds.
Pelt right now, but it's a bad bet, but I'm taking it.
And I think North Carolina is going Republican, and I don't think it's even that close because of the storm, because of the insult of the $750
Yeah.
that they were offered. I mean, you talk about kicking someone in the nuts. I mean,
So we've
no,
taken-
I got it. The country's, and this is under the Biden-Harris watch.
Mhm.
I think Milton helped the Republicans and hurt the Democrats.
Helene.
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 Yeah.
And
sorry.
here's why. There
Yeah,
are
Milton was
people
already-
in North Carolina that are moderates
Mhm.
that are watching their friends struggle and get no government help. And those moderates will go, you know what? The government should have done a better job, and I'm going to vote for somebody different to do it. Okay.
And also the optics of her wearing an outfit that totaled more than double what she offered to pay people who lost everything. That's
I
Can-
love having Amanda here
can we-
because none of the rest of us even noticed she had an outfit on, right? We're just like, it's just a politician.
her
Yeah.
belt was over half of just her belt that she wore when she made that announcement was over half of the check that she handed to those people. Or she said that they could claim.
All
Okay.
right, Mike, just one more bet because
Yep.
we differed on the popular
Yep.
vote.
Mm-hmm.
All right, a lunch on the popular vote.
I'll do a lunch on the popular
Okay,
vote.
all
with
right.
you.
We'll do that.
I honestly, I think this is going to be because
The only
of all
way
the
I'm
things
catching
you
up, I'm like 8 lunches
covered.
behind.
I know.
You guys just cancel them out. Is
I know.
that what
Well,
happens?
it's
You
okay.
never actually
Well,
have the
I've
meal?
never been up 11 before.
No,
It's
he's
really
up-
been a unique place for me.
He's
to be.
only up 6 right
I
now.
was up 11
He
at
was
one
up
point in
8.
time.
I paid for one,
Yeah.
and Miami won, so it's
Yeah.
6 right now.
Yes.
All right.
But
Yes.
who's counting?
Who's counting? Okay.
Do you guys keep a card in your wallet?
No, we just know.
That's it.
We just know.
Exactly.
We just absolutely know. All right. This weekend, after Halloween, is daylight savings time.
Yeah.
What percentage of Americans have had it with ending daylight savings time? They're just fed up with the
What
changing of the
percentage
clock.
that want to
What
end it?
percentage have had it with ending it? Just leave it alone, set it at a time, and be done with it. What percentage?
Me first?
Yes.
69%.
Solid answer.
85.
I think it's somewhere between there, and I don't want to pitch myself in the middle. Lenny, you could have won 70.
I could have, but I think it's bigger than that.
Yes.
I think it's. I'm going to go. Oh gosh, I'm going to go 76.
Amanda gets the point. 59%.
Really?
Okay.
59% of the
Yeah.
people have had
So
it
close.
with changing that. All right, Lenny,
Sir?
people are very pessimistic about the world today.
Hi there.
Yes. So what
Welcome to the
percentage
club. We have T-shirts.
what percentage of Americans fear that World War III is imminent?
Well, the blind Nostradamus of the Balkans says that there's going to be global war in Europe in 2025. So I'm thinking you got about 48%.
48.
I'm going less than that. I'm gonna say. I'll do 33. Larry Bird.
33. So I think it's in between that, but just for
It's the worst position, isn't it? It's the worst spot.
See?
I think it's in between that. But what'd you say? You said 40.
48, I think.
48?
48.
33.
Dude, I don't think it's 50. Damn it. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll write you a note. You're a pumpkin. You're allowed to cuss.
37.
Uh,
37%.
Lenny's going to win. 80%.
Come on, that can't be
80%.
right.
80% of the people feel it's imminent.
That can't be right.
You know, maybe people that sit in that chair just missed all the questions, Blake.
Yeah.
I mean, Troy.
Yeah, it's a Blevins thing. It's a Blevins thing.
So let me ask you this question.
Yes.
You have more questions, correct, sir?
Oh, I
Yes.
got more questions.
Okay. Let me ask you
Okay.
this briefly. Trump wins. Israel has unfettered access to do what they want to do to get oceanfront property in Gaza. And do we stand a chance of Taiwan staying independent?
I think if Trump wins, Taiwan stays independent. I think the war in the Ukraine is over in 3 months or less. And I think there will be a settlement in Israel. And Trump has a different approach to this. There's not a single leader that you mentioned in any of those instances that if they called Joe Biden to negotiate a deal,
Would listen to him.
could get a deal
Right.
or understand him.
Mhm.
So there's a lack of American leadership on the world stage. I think Trump will do that. Trump has made it very clear, I do not want Americans in a war. So he's going to get some stuff done. The media will probably freak out and say Putin got everything he wanted, ignoring the fact that when Putin invaded under Obama, he got land out of the Ukraine. So if he got even more land, it's not going to be any different. But you got to end that war. And the sooner you end that war, the better. The threat of North Korean troops entering that war at this point in time is not good for anybody.
Right.
So, because that could easily spill over into the Korean Peninsula. So I'm hopeful. I don't think Harris has a chance of ending that either. Again, because I don't think world leaders, especially in the Middle East, are going to listen to a woman. I'm sorry to say that. It doesn't mean I don't listen to women and I don't respect them. I just don't think they are going
Well,
to.
even if they did, if she doesn't have the chutzpah to do a 3-hour Joe Rogan interview,
Mhm.
then how can she sit across the table from people that hate her because she's a woman and hate her because she's an American?
Yeah.
Like, how do you have the chutzpah to sit across that table if you can't talk to Joe Rogan?
I think their hate is not just for. I mean, it's just for infidels, and you know, I think they hate Trump, but they do fear Trump, and that's the difference. And you know, we're talking about people that respond to fear
Mhm.
and not to just idle threats.
Yeah.
And I think when Trump says it, he's going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You might think it's crazy as all get out, but you know what? The people you're the most afraid of on the schoolyard is the crazy ones.
All I can picture
So-
is Blazing Saddles. He mean what he say. He mean what he say.
So here's an observation.
Yeah.
As we've had this discussion, like this observation has hit me, right? Not a single global leader has called Biden in the last 2 years to have a meeting, to have a get together, and to discuss any kind of policy that would have an impact on the world stage. That's because those global leaders knew of his mental decline, and they knew they couldn't get a deal and it was a waste of time. It was also Biden's staff probably stiff-arming them and saying, no, we're not meeting with you because we're not going to let him give up everything. So there's more people in Washington and around the world that knew about Biden's decline before we as voters ever saw it in that debate. With
Same
Trump.
with Hollywood and Diddy and
All
all
right,
business world and Epstein.
back to fun things, which is
I'm going to try and get on the board now.
Okay, try to get on the board. What is America's favorite sandwich?
America's
What type
favorite
of sandwich is it? And if you don't get this, you're going to be, all of you will be so mad. What is America's
Peanut butter and jelly.
Okay.
I mean, it's got to be peanut butter and jelly.
All right.
I'm certainly hoping so. PB&J.
PB&J is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, tied for 6 with an egg sandwich, which I find
Oof.
atrocious.
That can't be.
That's regional.
That
The
is.
sandwich is regional.
2,000 people
Is
were
this an
surveyed.
MSNBC poll?
Study finds. Study finds.
That'd be fun.
You're gonna all. I'm
Ham.
telling you, you're all. You want to go again? You want to try for a second guess?
We may as well.
I won't go ham because there's religious people that don't
Yeah.
eat that side of it. I'll go turkey then.
Turkey?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Is it?
You
is
work in a sandwich shop, so you
Is
know.
it a burger?
Is that considered a sandwich?
That's what.
It's
If
between
it's
two
in the
separate.
category, I'm
it's
gonna
Yeah.
say.
between
I'm
unhinged
gonna say
bread.
burger.
Hamburger, yeah.
Grilled cheese.
Yes, sir.
Grilled
Grilled cheese,
Dang
baby.
it.
42% said grilled cheese.
Ugh.
Do you feel silly now?
I love a good grilled cheese,
Yes.
but I
Ain't
still
nothing
I can
better.
tell you this: I've eaten in my lifetime. I've eaten more PB&Js than I have grilled cheese.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
We didn't factor in the peanut allergies, guys.
Yeah.
You didn't factor in the peanut
Those
allergy.
didn't exist in the 70s.
It wasn't a poll in the 70s.
Yes.
I traveled with my grandparents from Atlanta on a road trip from Atlanta all the way to Yellowstone up into the Dakotas and back to Atlanta. And I only ate grilled cheese.
Nice.
Only ate grilled cheese.
Okay, which Halloween
Weird
candy is the worst for you and your gut health?
Worse for you. And your...
Me?
I'm still not on the
Which
board, so
Halloween
you.
candy is worse for
Mhm.
you and your gut health.
Yes. Right now, Lenny's got 2, Amanda's got 1, you got zip.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shut up. I
This
don't.
is
I don't
like
think I'm gonna get this.
every
One.
candy in the world. I'm gonna say it's got to be candy corn because he's
Thank you.
asking. It's got to be. It's not, but it's got to be candy corn because he's asking.
I'm wondering why it took you so long to say candy corn.
Because I love candy corn, and I think
I
it's.
know.
I really think that it's Fun Dip, but he's asking, so it's got to be candy corn.
I was thinking about you earlier because if I was a more larcenous individual, you would have had an inflatable candy corn on your desk today.
Dude, why not? I would love that.
Because I would have had to steal it from Flagler Imaging.
Yeah. So you going candy corn too?
I'm going candy corn too, also
All
as
right.
well.
I
Or
want to
the
go.
steal.
I want to go circus peanuts, but
Tragic.
because
I don't
they're
think
just
people buy those.
they're just
Is that
hor-
Halloween candy?
they're just horrible.
Yes.
They're just absolutely horrible. But I don't think I gotta go candy corn too, just because Mike's asking. I agree with this
Yeah.
statement.
Finally getting on the board.
Yes.
You avoided the opportunity for the steal. Lenny is still in the lead. According to this, candy
There's
corn
zero
and
chance that candy corn is
licorice,
worse for you
licorice
than Fun Dip.
twists are the most high fructose corn syrup, saturated fats and additives. These are not among your better choices.
Yeah, Twizzlers are bad for you.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
delicious.
What? No, they're not. They make me happy, and
They're
that's not
delicious.
bad.
I understand they're delicious, but they are not good for you.
That's
They're
like
good for you emotionally.
that's like my mom said I couldn't do something when I was a teenager, saying it was bad for me.
Twizzlers were passed around in my college dorm right before a big night because it would lessen the grossness if you re-encountered your booze that night.
Mhm.
Because they come out
Wow.
kind of like corn. They come out the same way. So as they go in. And so you get that little Twizzler taste instead of the vomit taste.
Well, did you bite
Oh.
off one end, bite off the other end, and use it as a straw?
No.
Why would I do
You
that?
guys have way gone off.
You planned on throwing
oh
up?
my gosh.
It was
I never once planned on throwing up when I was.
I don't
no,
plan on
not
getting in a
once.
car accident,
Unfortunately,
but I wear a
eventuality.
seatbelt.
I can tell you this: the worst
We
one
need to
was.
stop this before I really start going down the things that you should be planning. We just got to stop now. We got to go on. We got to move on. All right. Damages to farmers and ranchers from Hurricane Milton. Okay. Wilton Simpson, who is our Agricultural and Consumer Service Commission, said that it caused between, just give me the top end. It's between X and another number. How much damage to crops did Milton cause when it came across Florida?
Dollar value or percentage?
Dollar value.
Amanda, I think it's you.
No, I
No,
gave
no,
it candy
it's
corn.
Lenny. It's Lenny.
Sure it's not Amanda?
No,
It's you.
she did candy corn. You did candy corn, and
I know.
Mhm.
I'm just
I still think
salty.
it's circus
He doesn't
peanuts.
want it.
Mhm.
Well, all right. 5 billion.
I'm gonna go.
5 billion?
I'm gonna go 2.67 billion.
Dang it.
69 billion.
This is the first time that,
I mean-
that everyone's worried about being, not worried about being in the middle and trying to figure out where to be in the middle.
Yeah.
So
6.9 billion.
$2.5 billion.
Call it a comeback.
The comeback kid. All right, I got a couple more questions because we're almost at an hour and we're trying to keep this in that format. This week, Tim Waltz
Who?
and AOC.
Exactly.
Yes.
Some knucklehead.
Oh, that
in
school teacher.
trying to relate to
Allegedly.
young men, played video games against each other. What video game did they play, Troy Blevins?
What video game did they
Did
play?
they play? Yes.
If you wanted to relate with them, it would be that criminal game. But
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
That's just the
so
result of
it's
their
teen,
policy.
No,
it
no,
was,
that's not a game.
Is
That's,
it teenager?
That's called
You-
Friday Night in
You said
Minnesota.
it's teenagers, right? It wasn't kids.
They're trying to relate to young men, young white men.
Right, so hopefully people 18 or over, otherwise they're wasting all their time.
Call of Duty.
I think it's Madden.
Interesting. I thought you knew the answer. I was going to copy you, but now I'm not so sure. And now I got to know what a video game is?
He is a football coach. So Madden I could see, but I think Call of Duty's just a little.
With their stance on the
wait,
gun,
wait,
on
wait,
guns.
wait,
I don't
wait,
know.
Oh yeah, good point.
Minecraft.
Minecraft?
That's why I was asking if it was
Wild card.
if it was younger kids, I would go with
I don't know.
Minecraft. And it
Don't
was
play
on my
games.
list. It was on my list.
Okay, first of all, before I give you the answer, if it had been Call of Duty, Waltz would have quit when they got deployed.
Oh yeah.
he would have been out.
He
Right?
would've been-
We're getting deployed now. I need to. I'm
Didn't he
done.
go? Didn't he go
I'm
to
done.
China, or was he not in
Yeah,
China? I can't
Italy.
remember.
He went to Italy.
Yeah.
He did go to China, but not when he said he was.
Okay. The actual answer is Madden.
Okay.
The actual answer
Yeah, he's
from
a football
Amanda to
coach.
Ty.
He's a football coach.
Right, so we could have a three-way tie. We could have some person winning. We do this.
So glad.
Who's up? Who's the next answer?
I started, so Amanda.
Amanda.
Okay.
What was the score of the game at the end of the game? You don't have to give me the winner.
Wasn't he playing against AOC?
Yes.
I'll say.
She probably won.
I just love how he keeps doing these live streams with like product placement. Like he's totally drinking Mountain Dew. I'm gonna say 17-24. I don't know.
17-14.
I'm gonna say 35-28.
Okay. In an effort to relate to young people, they played a game that if any of us played, those are all reasonable scores. Every single one of them.
Oh no. Did
However-
they get like 6?
However,
600 to.
they played
They had it on easy
they
mode.
played an entire Madden game, and Mr. Blutarski
A 0 to 0.
0.0 against
Zero.
0.0.
They kept just getting sacked. They didn't know what they were doing.
Nobody knew how to play the game.
You can just kind of let the game play itself, and it's
You
going to
can
score.
a touchdown.
They got in the way
0.0.
of the game.
Yes, 0.0.
Wow.
Just like they'll do for the country. They'll get in the way
All
of
right.
success and stop
So
it.
to try to break time, what was the highest number of people watching on the live stream while they were playing?
The highest number watching.
Watching while they were playing, because you could. It was on Twitch or one of the ones that you could
Yeah.
play.
It's-
No, you just was
it's
it you that
Lenny.
went first
It's
with
Lenny.
Lenny gets to go.
Lenny?
26 people.
26.
Oh.
Solid.
It's between Troy and I.
Suddenly, I feel like I'm feeding Lenny the answers.
I wouldn't watch AOC and him play Madden.
You don't even know what a video game is.
Well, that's true.
But they're definitely going to pay for views. So
Yeah.
it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
Pay for that? I'm at 25.
And I had in my head 69,000. But I'll go a little. I'll do 169,000.
Somewhere between those or above them or below
25,
them.
169. So your over under is between 169,000. So
Yes, yes.
I'll say 168.
168.
Yeah.
168,000. This is a tough one for me to kind of.
168.
Huh?
168?
168,000.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going 25 people.
Yeah, I know. We know.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify.
The actual answer was 10,000 people.
So Lenny
That's
got
it?
Yes.
Lenny got it.
Lenny got it.
Lenny got it.
For
That's
the-
25. We're making fun of his answer.
You said 69.
You should have just said it was
I
69.
tried to help you.
Yes.
I tried
For
to take
the
the zeros
win.
away.
I think this is 2 out of the last 3 weeks.
It's the only win you'll get in the
You're
next
getting
8
better.
days.
Quite possible. But if it's 271 electoral votes, I'm prognosticating.
I hope it's the only one he gets in the next 8 days.
I'm just going to say this for the sake of the country.
Yeah.
I hope that it's not that close. I
Me
hope
too.
that that it's a blowout in the Electoral College, because the last thing we need is for just insidious arguments to go on for the next few years. And my hope, I'm hoping it's a big win for Trump. I just don't want to see us arguing over Electoral College. I don't want to see one state be the state that drags on and on and on and on. I definitely do not want to see voting stop being counted at 1 o'clock in the morning and start up at 3 o'clock in the morning and one candidate sweep all the states when that happens. I just do not want to see that. That doesn't help us have faith in our election integrity. And that's the one thing this country needs to have is faith in its elections. So that's my comment. You guys all, and that was on a very scary night. That might as well have been a Halloween prediction as well. So you guys
I'm gonna
have
have
an
to leave to
amazing
end,
Halloween.
so
All
I'm
right,
gonna
we'll see you
leave.
guys later.
All right.
Well, you guys have to keep talking.
We got to keep talking.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, I think Amanda won the costume contest.
Yeah, she
Yes. I hate to say this. I think Davey came in last.
she was wearing a costume?
Yes.
Oh.
No, this is me all the time.
Yeah.
All right. We're about to be out. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.